Hello, everyone. So my name is Rohan, and today I have Priya with us. Priya is from Tamil Nadu, and she recently did 18 lakh in 6 months. Welcome to this call, Priya. Amazing to have you here.
Hi, Rohan. Always happy to speak to you.
Fantastic. So I'm super impressed looking at your journey and how you're growing. And now that we are also in the process of new offers that you're creating, which we'll get into on some other call. But yeah, so I want you to please take over the mic and tell everybody, whoever is watching this video currently, that what is it that Priya does and how did she crack these 18 lakhs, like helping people with what? So are you a coach, consultant, freelancer? What is it that you do?
So, hello everyone. My name is Priya Kamath, and I am a traditional fitness coach. For those who don't know what a traditional fitness coach is, I don't teach gym or aerobics or those kind of high intensity workouts where people feel like their heart is going to come out of their chest. But I teach traditional Indian ancient ways of keeping your body, mind fit and healthy. Right now, before getting into this, I was in a corporate job for more than 11 years. I was working in the banking and finance domain, and jumping from banking to fitness was a big journey for me because all of these 11 years, although I was doing very well in whatever I was doing, I was never really satisfied with what I was doing. And I always thought that I had a higher calling. And although I was good, I was not happy, right? So, which meant the money was coming, but that is not what made me happy. And during the lockdown, I got introduced to my guru and I started training under his mentorship. And then I started doing teachers training certifications. And that's when I realized that, this is something that I have experienced the benefits for. And this is something that I would like to also take it to other people. And I want them to experience the benefits of our traditional fitness practices, right?
Mm.
So that's when I got this idea that okay, maybe this is my calling. And again, I was good at what I was doing, but when it became a thing that I wanted to make it as my career, my career path, that is where I was struggling because the number one skill, I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't know how to sell it. So I was going through a lot of, Instagram pages, a lot of posts, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of free content basically, which is available on the market. And my sister, who also has her own business, she was already established and she would keep sending me, ideas. Okay, follow this one, check this post out. And one such post she had shared was your ad, Rohan, for the landing page domination, where, you taught people how to make landing pages
Mhm.
with simple tools and, it was like basically so attractive that I was like, okay, although from an IT background, I'm not from a technical background. So it was a little overwhelming for me to think that, okay, I have to create an entire website all by myself. How am I going to do that?
Mhm.
And then I thought, okay, let's just give it a shot with 3 hours, right? Doesn't,
Yeah.
not a big investment of time for me. And of course, even cost wise, it was not very expensive. So I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. And I was working at that time. I was also doing my office work, and then parallelly, I joined your session. And after the first few hours, it became so interesting, and it became I was so curious to know more. Like, oh, is that so? Oh my God, this is so interesting that I left my office work for that day. And 2 months after that, I quit my job, and I got the confidence that I will be able to sell
Pursue.
myself. I will be
Yeah.
able to market myself, and
Mm.
I know that I will be able to get people if I present myself the right way, because that's what matters. Having the skill is having the skill is one thing, but having presenting it to others and convincing them that you will be able to help them is a totally different ball game, and that I understood after meeting you.
Yeah.
And then 18 lakhs in 6 months was pretty easy, I would say.
Wow, amazing. It is inspiring, and there are a lot of like hard-hitting facts that you've mentioned just in this, short, brief introduction of yours. And a few things that I would want you to I want you to just take the audience back on this journey of yours and take them back to this story, the experience that you have created. And still, it's a journey. You're still on it. Uh, you mentioned about quitting your job after 2 months of being here, which I know you also mentioned about how you wanted to get out of that, being in a job kind of a culture, and you wanted to build your own thing, but you were not sure how to do it. What should be my uh, direction, the pathway, the implementation pathway? You did not have clarity on that. So I want you to talk about why did you want to do it? What was the reason? What was the purpose behind it? Like, I have reasons behind why I started my consulting and coaching business. There's a reason. Why did you start it? What was the reason behind it?
Reason behind me quitting my job, or the reason behind me picking up whatever I'm doing right now?
Yes, picking up what you're doing right now. Yeah.
Okay, so staying in a corporate job, I had a lot of health issues,
Mm,
predominantly, physical as well as mental. Like
yeah.
people know a lot about back pain and this pain and that pain, and they
Mhm,
all think it's it's just a part of the job. It just comes along with it. But there were a lot of mental health issues also that I was facing. Right, problem in relationships, problem in identifying who I am, or always being very critical of myself. That leading to stress and a lot of anxiety, and all of that, those hidden health issues were there. And after I started practicing what I'm doing, I
mm,
started noticing that uh, you know it's not just about the body, but
yeah.
it's the mind that tells you how your body behaves, right? So there's a deeper connection. And when I found that, I started realizing that a lot of my physical and mental health issues started vanishing away in sorts in just matter of few weeks. My pains and aches were a lot reduced. I was able to focus more better at work, and I was able to have more meaningful relationships, not just with my colleagues, but even with my
Mm,
family members.
mm.
And when this started to happen, I realized that this is something that everybody should experience, because I know I still had my colleagues complaining about the same things that I used to complain about. And then I said, okay, I have the solution, and why not take this to more people and get them to experience the kind of happiness that I was experiencing? So that is the reason why I chose to quit my job for 11 years and then start off from scratch.
Yeah. So you mentioned 11 years. Yeah. I've been into a corporate job for 14 years until I started my own thing. And it's been about 3 years since I got started on it. I think like 18 to 20 months actively, but then one and a half years of struggle, initial struggle. So super inspiring, Priya. And I like the way how you solved it for yourself. And that's what led you to find your true purpose, the hidden purpose, using which you are now creating a bigger impact. And that's the exact reason why people why people would want to be a coach or consultant, because you want to change lives. And all money will follow, business will grow, but it will only happen if your people grow. It's like that. So amazing. So talking about going back to your transition from being a corporate job over to now doing your own thing, and in 2 months finally quitting your job, saying bye bye to it, and then pursuing what you're pursuing today. uh Before you came to me, I'm pretty sure that you went to different places or training programs or communities, as they call it now, and different hubs and different courses or different coaching programs or mentorship programs. So before coming to me, what all did you try? You don't need to name anybody if that's a problem, and that's completely fine. But just you can talk about what all did you try before you came to me.
Honestly, I got very lucky, and then I hit bullseye when I just met you. So you're my
Okay.
first and till date my only mentor in marketing. So I have not gone to anyone. I've read a lot of posts. I've seen a lot of videos of
Okay.
other marketers, but
Right.
I have not enrolled for any other course. This was
Wow,
only.
that's good. That's good. Like, yeah, like even I have burnt my hands so many times. So you definitely are lucky. Like, I'm not saying this is not in context to trying to give a compliment to me, but what I'm just saying, yeah, it is. So, okay, so that's a good one. So it's the first time that you got into a mentorship program, which is through me, and you've been doing well. I also want you to talk about then, if not mentorship program or courses, but you mentioned somewhere in between that you were swimming in that in those YouTube videos, right? Mindlessly, and you're going through that. How was your experience on going through those YouTube videos? How did you end up feeling like after going through YouTube videos?
Well, there was a lot of information available on the internet, and that
Mm,
was quite overwhelming because people talk about concepts, but they don't teach you like how to implement that and get results out of that, right? So it's one
mm,
thing to know the information, but when you put it into action and then when you get results, that's when I think you understand better. And with your, right from the workshop to the courses that I had enrolled in, what I like the best about is you explain a concept, you give an example, and there are like assignments. It may sound very childish that okay, you're giving assignments and all, but I think that's when you actually understand the concepts that you're learning and then you implement it, and really you don't have to again keep going back and revising. Otherwise, when I used to watch those videos, it reminded me of my school days that I'm reading a book, but I can't remember anything after my exams. So when I'm
Right.
watching the video, I know it, but after I close it, in case me and my sister are discussing like what did I learn today, or I have to ask for something, I would just be like, this and that. Oh, I think it was this. And it was quite overwhelming. And, at that point, since it was a transition period, I was even considering, am I going in the right direction? Is this
Mm.
something that I should get into? Maybe I should stick to my career, current career, and not, give up for something which is not even there.
Yeah.
So that was the big difference between what I read before versus
Right.
your course.
Yeah, that's no, I agree with that because information is freely available, on the internet. You can go to different YouTube videos, you can go to blogs, articles, go through them, skim through them. You can read books and do all of that, but the real power is not in knowledge, but the knowledge that you implement. That's where the real power is.
Absolutely.
And that's what a mentorship program does. Like, I am what I am because of my mentors and gurus and coaches and my teachers, like, because they made me implement things, and that's why it is important. So fantastic. Let's get on to your actual product, your offering, your solution that you have, the problem you solve. So I want you to talk about, you understood that being in the corporate culture and the journey, being in a job for so many years, for 11 years, and then you experienced the issues that started to, you face, which are your mental issues, mental health issues, stress, kind of anxiety, or back pain, body pain. All of that started to happen, and then you solved it for yourself using a specific methodology, ancient technique and methodology. And uh, and you mentioned about, you had no clarity on how to like position yourself or how to market yourself. So what were your challenges before you were able to clock these kind of numbers? What was happening before that? How difficult was it? What were your thoughts? Like what would you do, and what you tried probably did not work? Anything like that?
Well, before like since this was my first offer, there were of course a lot of trials that I did with different offers, and the
Mm,
mistake that I was making initially was that I was trying to solve a lot of problems. So, I would
mm,
say this is a holistic solution. So your
mm,
back pain will also go, your PCOS will go, your sleep issues will get solved, and everything I was trying to. I mean, of course, it does happen, right? So there are a lot
yeah,
of results that people get, and that is what I was trying to actually deliver. This
yeah,
active thing. But then through learning from you, what I understood is that it there is an art and there is a science behind how you position yourself,
yeah,
right? So you need to really understand what people want, why they want it, what are the problems they are facing, and when you speak to them in that exact same language, that is when they understand that yes, she understands me and she is going to be the one who's going to solve my problem, right? So that is the big difference that I learned. Earlier, my offers, my content online was pretty generic, and like you said, there was no depth to it. But slowly, I'm still learning. I'm not saying I'll
mhm,
be there, but at least now when I'm thinking, I know how to think. So I think
yeah.
that is a big difference in where I am right
Yeah, I'm so glad that you picked this up, because it is the key to succeeding online, because it's about personalizing your content based on, and your product and your solutions that you're offering to people for, for coaching as a coach, consultant, or even freelance agency owner. It's about ensuring that you have that one main villain that you're knocking down, right? And that's like the main big problem, that one problem, the power of one. And that's always I talk about, like, there should be that one main villain that you have to knock out, like, think like that. And then there could be some other benefits also, but then, yeah, this is a very common mistake. I have made it for a very long time, trying to solve so many problems in the front end, and then nobody ends up coming to me. So, and that's what you are also saying. So yeah, so that's what helps you position yourself in a much more better manner and communicate your offer to solution to people, your product to people. Okay, great. So what about your product ideation and then product creation? We've done a lot of one-on-one calls. Did any of that help you on what kind, like how to really, say, for example, get people on a call, or testimonials or case studies of your students or your members getting results or your clients getting results? Did any of the learning that you've gone through inside one of our mentorship programs, did that help you ideate your product, your solution in a much more efficient manner? Did that help you?
Yes, that did, because even when I was, like I had an offer earlier, now like I'm working on another one. And when we worked on, one-on-one for that, I realized that again, there also I was making the same mistake. I was trying to be too generic. I was trying to be too broad. I wasn't really paying attention to what exactly I'm doing, right? The details is what I was missing. But through the coaching calls, and not the coaching calls, the one-on-one calls, ask me like such minute details that sometimes I even had to think that what am I doing, because I wasn't giving my attention to all of that. It was like just things are going in a flow, and I had no direction. But you helped me think in a very structured manner, and
Mm,
that not just helped me in the ideas and offers, but even how I'm interacting with my students, that has
yeah.
changed. How I'm taking my classes, that has changed. So I think the way of thinking has, your influence has, impacted a lot on the way I think. So I think when you think in a certain way, you keep getting different ideas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just lost in your own, the conversations that happen in your head, and then you miss those ideas. So I think this is one very important thing that I've learned. And
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you so much.
no, you're most welcome. We're just getting started. This is just a warm up. The new offering, the new solution, the product that we're creating, I'm pretty sure it's going to do even better than this. So that's even going to be like, I'm super excited for it. Can't just wait to see you launch that. Okay, so fantastic. So that helps you in product ideation, product creation, and also positioning your solution in a much more personalized manner, and kind of helping you find your own unique positioning that help you crack these revenue numbers. What about in this process of positioning yourself and then crafting everything together, like what should be the pricing of it? Were you confused with that, and did you get any clarity on that, how to price it, what all should you offer, how long should the process, like the content be, or your membership should be? Because it's correct me if I'm wrong, it's a what you currently sell is kind of a recurring membership, right? It's not a one time thing. Right. So did that anything like earlier did not have clarity and now you have the path on that? Anything that helped you over there?
Yeah, so earlier what we were doing is we were doing monthly subscription model where it was just like a 1 month thing,
Yeah.
and that itself was a big pain because, going back to people and then asking them to pay up on time was a big challenge in terms of time and the energy that you have to put in.
Yeah.
And during one of our calls, you said like, why are you doing this? You shouldn't collect monthly payments. You should make it like 3 months. And then initially I was like, oh, really? I don't know if people will pay me, even for 1 month, and then you're asking me to, tell them to pay for 3 months upfront, and then you were like, no, yeah, they will pay you if you have the right solution for them. People will pay you. So initially, I didn't have that confidence of, asking people to pay for 3 months, but now I'm doing that for 6 months. So we have a 1 month, 3 months, and a 6 months membership
Right.
option, and I think that confidence to, uh, you know, increase the price or
Yeah.
get more
Yeah.
people even at the higher cost. I think that has come from you.
So
Otherwise, I would have just been running monthly, asking
yeah.
people for payments. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a messy model to follow, especially when you're doing it online.
yeah.
Offline is still different, but yeah, online is a little challenging with a lot of chaos there. What about, so how many clients do you currently have for your program? And
I have
approximately.
about 50 clients.
Okay, so your average ticket size, that means is roughly 30,000 if
Yeah.
we match it to the numbers, roughly, the give or take, right? Okay, so when you help people with delivering what you're delivering and the content, do they see results? Like, are they seeing a change in their lifestyle, like in their body pain or the issues that they have, mental health issues? Are they seeing any transformation?
Oh, definitely, they are. Right from day one, they start seeing changes, and we have a private WhatsApp community where people keep sharing their success stories, and we get like minimum of 10 stories every day. That I woke up with this pain, I had headache, but after I did your class, it's completely gone. Or I was not able to do this, but that now I'm able to do this.
Yeah,
So yes, there are a lot of success stories,
fantastic. So
small
this
and
is,
big.
yeah, yeah, like the breakthroughs are as important as like big wins. We also celebrate inside our community and with our clients and people members. They are extremely important because we know how hard it is to get those initial results, and then it's just a matter of getting those initial breakthroughs. Then the momentum kicks in, and you're on the right track. um,
And just before we move on, just one thing that I would like to add is that this community building is something that I've learned from you, right? So we have a very active community inside our group, and where people are not just sharing success stories, but even asking questions. And not just you, when you're busy, there are other people also who are pitching in and replying, and so that sort of thing really inspired me, and I wanted that to happen in my community. And I also pick up ideas from how you make our
mm,
community engaging, and then I implement it in my community, and there's active conversation happening between people, right? So they
yeah,
also feel like it's a community and it's not just people coming, paying, working out and going.
yeah,
So
it's
that is another thing that I learned.
thank you. It's a shared purpose. I also like observed many great coaches and gurus of all time, and I've carefully observed how they've built communities and a culture, right? And how it like when all of us together share a similar purpose in our own way, in our own directions, but similar purpose and similar implementation pathway, the journey becomes comparatively easier.
Yep.
So that's why I do what I do, and that's why you're also doing it. And that's exactly, I want everybody who's watching this, that the way that I look at success and we look at success inside Impact Excel and people who are part of our mentorship programs, the reason why we call it Impact Excel is so that you create a bigger impact, not just with the kind of money you make, but also the kind of results you're getting for other people. Because that's how we measure our success. Like if we have made you successful, what's happening with your people? And that's why product ideation, solution ideation is extremely important, so that people see that transformation in whatever problem you're trying to solve as a consultant, service provider, coach, whatever it is that you're doing, that you get other people results so that you also grow as a business. Because your business is all about, you can go all fancy on marketing, but if you have nothing to showcase, right, then it's just a matter of time that the building will collapse, right? So, and I'm talking about like people, genuine case studies, people who actually get results. So fantastic to see, Priya, that you're doing it. What about anything about marketing in general, like hooks, offers, solutions, and ad angles and ad hooks, ad copy, headlines? How much did you learn? Anything you want to talk about that?
Well, before I talk about that, what I got, there's one thing that I really admire and want to learn from you is the way you come up with hooks and headlines, right? That is something that I have not been able to do with, and I really aspire that, someday, like we just throw an offer at you and you're like, okay, let's make this as your hook and this is your headline, right? So that is something that I've not learned, and I want to, but what I've learned is creating new offers, right? So,
Mm,
given any problem, how can you convert that into an offer, and how can you present it to the audience or your prospect? I think that is something that is now coming automatically to me. Even I don't realize that, but yeah, it is. So when I started the business initially, it was my sister. So me and my sister are in partnership in this business.
yeah.
So strategizing and coming up with offers was her idea, her department, and mine was just the implementation. But now I'm happy to say that I can do both very easily and effortlessly.
Fantastic.
That is something that I learned.
Yeah, it is about, because people think about, when we talk about offer, and when we use this term as offer, right? People misunderstand it, and they think more like offer is like buy one get two free,
A
or
discount or something
90%
like that.
off or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
But that's not what it is. What Priya is mentioning is also about, to put it in simple terms, it's about what kind of solution are you packaging for people. It's like that. Take it like that. What is your solution? What is your offering in that context, right? How will it help people? And then combining different pieces of the puzzle together to solve one particular problem as a whole. So that's what it is that she's mentioning. Thank you. I'm glad that you learned that. What about you know you were talking about in the process of learning how to package offers and stuff, and you talked about how your sister is also doing this, and like was doing it. Now headlines and offer hooks is something that you learned a lot from me. What about like the new ideas that we're discussing, the strategies that we are now testing? How about that? Like, how do you find that method of the high impact tests so far? How are you liking that? How do you see the clarity and ease in implementing that?
I think my one word to describe what I'm feeling right now would be like mind blown, right? So the ease with which I'm able to come up with the ideas on what needs to be tested, and the speed at which I'm getting the results of what will give me results is like amazing. And it's not even a lot of work. Like you have to put in too much of effort, think this,
Yeah.
that, nothing like that. Just understand the basic concepts, come up with it, put it for testing, get your results, and then move on to the next stage. So I think the speed, I'm loving the speed at which this thing moves.
Right, 100%, because that's what I worked so hard for, so that I can create. Because I also believe in test first approach. I think it's not a logical decision, A, to build your product and seek validation of your idea from friends and family. Sorry if I'm offending anybody, but it's just my personal opinion. I never benefited out of it. So I think it's not logical because of my experience. And B, what I also don't find logical is you creating your own entire product, setting things up, and then launching, hoping and praying that people will buy from you, especially who don't know you. When you know, do media buying, when you run paid ads, say Facebook ads or say Instagram ads or YouTube ads, and you're driving cold traffic to your funnel, and then people are coming and not buying from you, and there you go, your bubble just burst because nobody's interested. And so that's when Priya mentioned about, that's what we usually do. We try to find test first approach. We test validation leke aate hain pehle. This is what we do. And then we try to get people like the cold traffic, people who usually don't know us, to validate the ideas, the hypothesis, and then create our MVPs, prototypes around that. Amazing journey, Priya. The new offer, I'm pretty sure this is just a start. There's so much more that I want to talk to you about, but I think we'll end this call for this time, for now, for the time being. I am going to get on another call with you, 100%. And I think in next 2 months or so, that I can see that happening, maybe 3 months maximum, which will be for your new offering, which is the new solution that we're creating and the way we are creating it, the crafting it, a journey, the test first approach, the high impact testing methods, and all of that through Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And yeah, so we'll do that. And I'm sure that people would love that no other masala. Anything you would want to
I would love to come every 2-3 months on your
yeah,
thing and speak about my success story.
yeah, you and I would love that. Yes, let's do it. So anything you would want to tell to people who are still thinking in, because I'll tell you, I've done so many consultation calls, right? Like I don't even have count, 1,000+ hours, maybe thousands of easily. And uh, one of the most common problems in people is trying to solve trying to solve a unique problem, a problem that nobody is solving. That itself is a problem. So, and I would want you, because now the way you are also transitioning, which we are not talking about on this call, but because it's a new product in the making, and it will do well because we already know which direction we are headed. I want you to talk about and give your message to people on, the myths that we all think about building a business online. For example, solving a unique problem. It's a myth. Or solving all the problems. As you mentioned yourself, like earlier, you were thinking like, I will solve all of it with generic and all of that. What are those 3, 4, 5 myths that you would want people to get over with and just go out there and do it in a certain manner? What would you share with people?
I think the two that I could think on top of my head, one is, don't solve all the problems and don't try to be unique. I trying to think of anything else. Can I just talk about these two because I can't think
Yeah.
about anything right
Yeah, or yeah, and that's fine. Like that is a big lesson, and that's what it is. And I also, that reminds me, I'm sorry, I just completely forgot I was about to end this call, but now I think I'm going to ask you this question. What about your the world record that you appeared for? What about that experience? Like, how did that happen? And talk about it. Let people know.
So I am a world record holder in Karlakate. I completed 1,736 swings in 30 minutes. So for perspective, there are 1,800 seconds in 30 minutes. So I did 1,736 in 1,800 seconds. And it was a very challenging task, of course, physically, because every day 40 hours of my personal training plus training with my guru plus teaching my classes, and then managing my business, managing my home. Of course, it was a tough challenge, but I think physically and mentally I was able to do it because of a lot of um, help from my gurus, right? So whether it's my marketing where you were helping me, or with my world record, my guru was helping me. I think one very important thing in life everyone needs is one guru for one aspect of your life, whether it's your health, whether it's your marketing, whether it's your spirituality. You always need that one person to whom you can always reach out to whenever you have a problem, or whenever you're stuck, or whatever it is, right? You need to have that one person. And I think it's just the grace of my guru that I was able to successfully complete it. And there are only three women world record holders in the whole world, and to be one of them is, I think, it's an honor and an absolute privilege. So
It's an
yeah,
honor
I'm
for
very
me. Like
excited.
having you as one of our people that we have the privilege to help you and be a part of your journey, and you inspiring other women, right? And I want to talk to you about your next offer, and that reminds me of that, your next product that we are launching, which I'll this reminds me of that, so I'll talk about it off the call behind the scenes, and we'll discuss that during our consultation call. But supremely inspiring journey, Priya. And the way you're doing it, like success is bound to hit you because your intent is pure, and you have that attitude of gratitude that you carry, and you're not forgetting it. So these are some basic, I think, basic personality traits that one should carry if you truly want to become successful in your every area of life, right? Not just wealth or money, but every area. So amazing to have you here, Priya. Thank you for your time. And for those of you watching, if you would like this quick interview session with success story, uh, Priya's success story and journey of going from 0 to 18 lakhs in 6 months, and please probably like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that jazz. And so that more of such kind of videos as we release will show up on your feed. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, Priya. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Rohan.